Brothers Podcast. This is ABC DVD, two brothers' alphabetical journey through our DVD collection that is worthy of a heist. I'm Josh.
I'm Noah.
And today we're talking about Ocean's 11, the 2001 remake.
Yes, this is my go-to when you're like, you know what? This remake is better than the original.
Yeah, I mean, it's my go-to for when a older movie that was bad but had potential, and then when it was remade, it was made better. This is the one I go for. Yeah, I mean, I know that's a lot of qualifiers, but there are like old movies that were good and the remake even better. But yeah, I'm looking at you, Thomas Crown Affair. But no, this is a phenomenal remake, which is rare to say.
Yes,
and
it is a star-studded cast.
It's star-studded cast. It is a one of those. Just like we're gonna put everyone in it and see what happens.
But it's also one of those like we've said in other things where it's like it's a big ensemble cast where everyone gets enough screen time and it doesn't feel like it's like suffering.
No, not at all. And that's probably because this is directed by Steven Soderbergh. He's known for on IMDb for Sex, Lies, and Videotape, Traffic, and Aaron Brockovich.
Hey, I know those movies.
Yeah, I know those movies. But from what I've heard is like Steven Soderbergh is like an actor's director, which is like to give you like an opposite of that is George Lucas, who is more of a technician's director, who loves like the technical things of directing, but not really dealing with the actors. Where Steven Soderbergh is, if you're in one of his movies, he's going to make you look good and he's going to make you a better actor because of it. So people like working with him, is what I've heard.
No.
Exactly. Written by a lot of people, but that's mainly because they credited a lot of the original screenwriters from the Brad Pitt, the Frank Sinatra one. So I chose the screenplay for the new one, and that is Ted Griffin. He's known for Matchstick Men, the TV show Terriers, and Ravenous, among other things. Starring George Clooney as Danny Ocean. IMDb has chosen The Ides of March. The Ides of March.
The Ides of March?
Yeah. Michael Clayton and Up in the Air. Yeah, why not?
That seems to be his bigger ones.
Those are some other things. Brad Pitt plays Rusty Ryan. They chose Ad Astra, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and Moneyball.
Maybe not Ad Astra, but okay.
I guess it's more recent than not. And then I chose Julia Roberts as Tess Ocean. She's in Pretty Women, Aaron Brockovich, and My Best Friend's Wedding. So yeah. Those are our big ones.
There's a lot of people in here.
Yeah, I mean,
so if you're like, wait a second,
I didn't even choose the antagonist. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna choose the top three. Why not? Yeah. But phenomenal, casino heist movie. But I guess I could read the actual synopsis.
Synopsis pod.
Danny Ocean and his 10 accomplices plan to rob 3 Las Vegas casinos simultaneously.
That is what happens.
Yeah, it's very concise. It's very nice. It's like,
Yes, I think this is a good point to stop and say, if you have not watched this, this will be a spoiler. Oh yeah, and you will be sad.
Yes,
because it's one of those movies where it's fun to see the magic happen.
Yeah, most heist movies, the first time is they're going to fool the audience as well, and then like on second and further viewings, you know how it happens, and you get to like, oh, there's a little establishment, or oh, that doesn't make sense. But
well, and I think, and we'll probably talk about it, but it's like what this heist does, which I think other heist movies don't, is it brings you along the journey. Yeah. And then does a magic trick. Yeah. Where it's like, no, you thought you were coming along, and then we do this like, where's the ball? Where's the ball?
We didn't show you the one key piece of information, but we didn't hide it either. It's hinted at, but not fully. You didn't get the full picture.
It is fun that, at the end there's like, what?
But yeah, we open up with all the studio credits and, prison sounds, and we, get parole hearing for Danny Ocean, and it's a fun introduction to the character.
Yeah, it gives the little backstory that he's divorced and his wife left him because of his life.
Yeah, and he's not ever going to do that again, and he's totally going to do that again.
Well, yeah, because like the first moment he's out, he's like, where you go? Well, you go to Atlantic City.
Atlantic City, and we also get the start of what I would call one of the greatest soundtracks I've ever heard. The music in this film is phenomenal. It's all these like crooner jazzy things going on. So I want to give out a shout out to David Harbers or something like that, who did the soundtrack for this movie. Great.
But yeah, we meet our first member of the team, played by Bernie Mac.
The great Bernie Mac.
One
of the kings of comedy.
He plays Frank.
Yep.
And I like a lot of these characters because they're obviously all well-established criminals.
Yeah,
and they have ways of winking and nodding without, being over. Where he says like, no, you have me confused. But if you want to, I hear that the lounge at the Caesars, is good. They do a buffet at 1.
Yeah, so it was like, this is where we can talk where I won't lose my job.
Exactly.
And then I also love like we get the establishment of like the newspaper clippings saying like, oh, Terry Benedict's and his casinos and all these things. But then you get the like, oh, this is where he started his idea. But George Clooney is asking.
He's looking for someone.
He's looking for someone who we will find out is Brad Pitt,
who plays Rusty.
And
this is where I want to make a point.
Yeah,
and it's a Brad Pitt factoid, but it is to the 11th degree here.
Yes. I was going to talk about it too, but yeah,
I got to it first. So
deal with it. All right.
Is Brad Pitt one of his acting tells?
Yeah, his go-tos.
Is he's eating or drinking to kind of make him more relatable.
Yeah.
In this movie, he is doing that in almost every single scene.
Yeah.
So if you ever do it on rewatch to realize how much he's doing it.
Oh, I'm going to tell you what she's eating in this movie.
Okay, so Josh is going to keep
wrote it down.
I mean,
I might have missed some, but I'm going to give you a good heads up.
But I mean, it's almost to a point of where, like, at the very end of the movie, they make a joke of it that he has heartburn.
Yeah.
But you
ruined my ending there, but okay, fine. It's cool.
We can... Guess who edits this?
I don't
know.
They can
take that out.
No, I'm going to keep leaving it in, and I'm still going to say it like it's something new.
Like it's something new, so be surprised at the end, just like with all the other reveals.
But we get he's looking for Rusty, and we cut to Brad Pitt
in Hollywood,
and he's teaching celebrities how to play poker, and he's eating nachos. Number 1, nachos.
But yeah, the Hollywood kind of
rounders,
young heartthrobs are Topher Grace, who was in the 70s shows at the time.
Yep.
Joshua Jackson of Dawson's Creek, Shane West, who was in A Walk to Remember, Holly Marie Combs, who was in Charmed, but her and Shane West are not listed in the credits, and it's been theorized that they were kind of stand-ins because one was they thought Holly Marie Combs was going to be a stand for Katie Holmes, who was dating Joshua Jackson time, but then they broke up, and
that would have been awkward.
And that would have been awkward. And following up by Barry Watson from Seventh Heaven.
Gotcha.
So,
yeah.
If you, I mean, this could be a history lesson. Like these were all teen 20s,
these
pop
were
stars. At the time.
These were the WB and other.
But if you're wondering who they all are, is like he's trying to teach them poker, and it's painful.
It's
painful because
you get all the things of like
it's
like they're dealing the wrong way. They're dealing more cards. You can't have 3 pairs in a 5-pair game.
The all reds
are the best. Yeah, of you got diamonds and hearts. That's a nothing hand. You got a nothing hand. Yeah.
But Rusty's showing that he is not enjoying this. He's out there, drinking a whiskey.
Yep.
And you actually see it's a good cinema thing where you actually see Danny Ocean walk behind him in the background, but if you're not paying attention,
you wouldn't notice.
You wouldn't notice him, and he ends up playing in the game.
And there's a fun little audio thing you get of him asking the actors was it hard to transition from like movie to from TV to movies? And there's like, I don't think so, which is funny because George Clooney transitioned from TV to movies, and it was hard because he was like he was an ER. That was
he was basically almost a soap opera actor,
and then he became one of the biggest actors. One of the last movie stars of the age.
Yep. And upon rewatching this, I am wondering because they do this whole thing of like he's bluffing, he's trying to buy his way out. Was he bluffing, or were they both fleecing these people? Like, hey, we can con these people. Because
I read it. I mean, it could be that way. I read it that Danny Ocean knows Rusty so well that he knows his own, that he knows to show his own tells.
Yeah.
To get him to, he got conned by the better con man. In essence.
But it's like part of me wants to believe that they both had an unwritten thing. Like,
we could take all their money.
Do you want some change?
Yeah.
Let's take these guys for a couple $1,000.
And then there's a funny like little joke of, if you know the real world, of as they're leaving the club, everyone wants Topher Grace's autograph, but nobody wants Brad Pitt's because he's a nobody. But in the real world, it would have been the opposite. And Steven Soderbergh's like, I had so much enjoyment doing that.
There's one line that I'm gonna bring up because there's a few lines that have entered our zeitgeist because we've used it as like it's like, God, I'm bored. You look bored. I am bored.
Yeah.
It's a great line if you're ever just hanging around the house.
Yup.
But this is basically where Danny gives him the idea that I got this idea, and he goes, I want to rob
A casino.
He's like, no, I want to rob three casinos.
Like, oh, it was insane enough, and now you've tripled down. And then they look at the blueprints for the vault of the Bellagio, and it's the start of the plan.
Yeah, and you get the first mention of Terry Bennett. Like, these are Terry Bennett's places. So you're getting the hints of like, this is not just any person you're robbing from. This is a very named person
and
in this
a dangerous
universe.
person. I also like, I need to know why. And Danny Ocean gives this big speech about betting on the bet. And it's like, you planned that speech, didn't you? It's like, I thought I rushed it. It's like, yeah, I bet you did.
Well, and this is a fun thing also because he says, he's like, well, what do you think? He goes, well, to do this, he names off some cons.
Oh yeah.
And he says you're gonna need a Boski, a Jim Brown, a Miss Daisy, two Jethros, a Leon Spinks, and the biggest Ella Fitzgerald ever.
Yeah.
These are all made up by
Soderbergh and the writer,
because a lot of cons do get named after things.
Mm-hmm.
The Boski is supposed to be, and these characters will be later, but is Saul.
Yeah,
it's named after Ivan Boski, who was a Wall Street person who got caught for security fraud.
Yeah,
so it's a fraud. Someone pretending
to be someone else. Yeah.
Jim Brown, who is Frank Bernie Mac's character, is named after a football player who would get into fights with other players and cause a scene.
So he's a distraction.
He's a distraction.
Yeah.
Miss Daisy is you need a chauffeur, which is going to be the van, which has no one in it. Yeah. Named after the
Driving Miss Daisy.
Driving Miss Daisy.
And it's also maybe one of the Mormon twins.
Casey Affleck, the Mormon twins are actually the two Jethros.
Well, it's the two Jethros, so he's a Jethro and a Miss Daisy because he does the robots.
The robot. It's supposed to be like you need a getaway
driver.
But we need one that has nothing in it.
Yeah.
But the two Jethros are the two brothers.
Yeah.
Kind of like an all around.
Yeah.
Two hillbillies who can be.
Well, they're also like we need people who can do all these odd jobs and also convincingly get into fights.
Yeah. The Leon Spinks is a distraction.
Yeah.
And that's for the Spinks versus Ali fight that no one saw that Spinks was going to beat Ali. It was a big surprise, and that's going to be the blackout.
Yeah.
And then the biggest Ella Fitzgerald is Ella Fitzgerald when she was doing a commercial where she sings and she breaks the glass. And they're like, was that her voice or was it this audio equipment?
Yeah.
And that's the fake out video. Like, which one is the real one?
Yeah, you need a technical person to break to hide the.
It's one of those things very much like we talked about in other movies where it's like it lays out a lot of things in here, but it never explains that. It's like, oh no, we're telling you all these things.
But if you're not part of the crew, you won't know. But then we meet the financer.
Yeah, we need
of this,
Cash.
Of Ruben, played by Elliot Gould, and they go to his house, and it's like because they ask like who has a thing against Terry Benedict, and it's this guy who's got his own grudge against the man. Well, and we get our number 2 food of a salad and quinoa.
Yes, but it's a good backstory because he says there's only been 3 successful robberies.
And I do love these flashbacks.
Well, and what is interesting about because it's a locks box in like the 60s,
70s,
the Flamingo in the 7 with chips, and then Caesars. He's carrying out a bunch of guys. What I found interesting upon rewatch is each one gets a little more violent. The one in this, they just grab him. The second one, he gets clipped in the face, and then the third one, they shoot him, showing like, listen, Vegas is not going to tolerate it.
And I also, on a technical aspect, the grain of the film gets clearer, the music gets clearer, and the frame, the side of the frame. It's like this is a 60s film, this is a 70s film, this is an 80s film.
Yeah, with appropriate
music and all that, and it was like this is just a nice, fun flashback.
But I also, they're like, oh, we're wrong, we can't rob these places.
Yeah.
And they set him up. Yeah. Because they dangle carrots like, well, which ones were you going to hit? And he's like, well, those are Terry Benedict's places. Yeah. Like, what do you have against him?
And it's like, what do you have? And it's like,
he's got beef.
And it's like, and then it's like the added danger of, this is a guy you
don't want to mess with.
Most of casinos you want to mess with. This is one you really don't want to mess with. Mm-hmm. And then the fun little historical, it's like they got more armed guards to defend, Paris. Sorry, bad example.
But they dangle that carrot. He takes the bait.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, we're going to need a crew. This is where you're going to get like
the montage of the crew.
Yeah. So Frank comes back out.
Yeah.
You get the twins, which I enjoy these actors. I know they said they were going to get like Owen Wilson and his brother, but they couldn't do it.
But they got Casey Affleck and Scott Conn instead.
I think they do such a great job being brothers.
Oh, I know.
It is like it's the perfect amount of banter and like
familiarity, like the race alone is like, oh, they're gonna race a actual monster truck and a toy monster truck. It's like, and they're bored and they're doing it. But the part that makes me believe that they're brothers is when Scott Conn runs over and then he laughs. Yeah, that laugh is a brother laugh.
Oh yeah. Well, and just they fight throughout this whole movie and it works. Yeah. And I was like, no, that was great casting.
Yeah. And then Livingston Dell, played by Eddie Jemison.
He's going to be the electronics. Yeah. I like it when he's introduced is like, I swear that's like a Radar O'Reilly reference where he's got like the mash cap on. He's kind of a little weird.
Yeah.
We have Basher, played by
Don Cheadle. Now, he is not credited in this movie.
His character's not even credited.
His credit's not in this movie, and that is a contract dispute because Don Cheadle felt he deserved to be kind of in the top billing, above the line, so kind of along the lines of Brad Pitt and George Clooney, and they wanted to keep him below. And since this contract dispute went so long, he just said, "Don't credit me." Now, what's interesting in the sequels, he gets pushed higher and higher because he kept becoming a better and better actor.
Yeah,
in the eye light. But yeah,
but I like it how they spring him.
Yeah,
they it shows that he's really good with pyrotechnics and this little giggle.
And I love his little giggle. And I bumped on this on my first watching that. It's like, why didn't the cop catch this? It's like, no, booby traps isn't this guy's style. Now, have you searched him? Have you searched him really hard? Because he's got booby traps on his body. It's like, you just said booby traps weren't his thing.
Yep.
Is it or isn't it?
Yeah, I know. It's a little misdirection.
Yep.
We get Yen, who's the grease man.
Yeah, played by, I'm probably going to mispronounce it, by Shobo Quinn or Keen.
Yes, who is an actual...
Q-I-N, Kin? Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Who is an actual acrobatic.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I mean...
The little Chinese guy.
Yeah. It's like, there is part of me... upon rewatching this, I bumped on this the first time. It's like when he does his acrobatics, it's not like it's not impressive, but it's also not the most impressive either.
Yes, we saw a stage show once, I think on a cruise ship, where it's like, oh, they used to work for Cirque du Soleil. It's like, oh, this is gonna be good, and he's like got this giant metal cube, and it's like he's gonna get in the metal cube.
He's gonna do something with the metal cube.
He just spun around with the cube. It's like, I see why he was formerly with Cirque du Soleil. He did not make the cut.
And then we got. Saul.
Well, before we go to Saul, I got because I'm keeping track. Number 3, he has a soda. Number 4, he's eating chips or fries on the way to the car. I don't know what, but he's eating something.
Gotcha. Okay.
Moving on.
Now we go to Florida, where Saul, who's going to be the con man,
Carl Reiner.
Yes,
the great Carl Reiner.
Which on the set, everyone said that. I mean, the director really wanted to do camaraderie, so he definitely helped
encouraged everyone to stay on
set. And they said a lot of people always hung around Carl because they said he just has the funniest stories.
He was the comedy partner to Mel Brooks. This guy is hilarious. He's got all these hundreds of stories.
Yeah.
And they even said like the bad guy, when we get to him, Andy Garcia, when he had scenes with him, had the hardest time maintaining his angry disposition because Carl would make him laugh.
Yeah, he'd make a face at him or something.
It was like, yeah.
But it he's getting set up. He's like, I saw you. I'm still, and he gets the the off screen kind of like, I'm whispering in your ear, like, come play with us.
Play us. And I also love like, he's like, your dog's at the end, and then you see like a dog crossing really
very late.
And again, to continue on, number 5, he's eating a slushie. It starts off red and then cuts away and is red and yellow. It's a magic slushie.
It could be like, like where like there's like
I'm just saying, when we first see it's like it's almost empty and it's just pure red. Then later on it's like half full. It's kind of yellowy too. It's like magic. Number 5, magic slushie.
Gotcha. And then we get they do this a few times in the movie, and I really like it, where George Clooney just talks to Brad Pitt, and he basically just talks to him, never gets an answer, but like comes to an answer. It's like, where it's like, you think we need one more man? Okay, we'll get one more man.
And what's important about the scene beyond that hilarious line, because it is, we use a lot, is the establishment of a boxing match in the future.
That's true.
And that this is going to be a key point to why they're doing the heist now.
Yeah.
But then the one more man
is Linus, who is Matt Damon.
They wanted to get Mark Wahlberg, but he wanted to go to the much more popular movie of Planet of the Apes. So they got Matt Damon instead, and I think that was a better change because I like Matt Damon more than Mark Wahlberg.
Well, because Mark Wahlberg is a lot more tougher.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, you need someone who's a little more doughy-eyed and like, I can do
I'm the new guy. You know, I'm still new at this. I've never done the big con. If you've ever watched the movie The Sting, he's kind of like Robert Redford. You've done minor things, but you've never done the big catch, and this is a big catch.
Yeah. And, it also establishes that he is the son of another.
Pickpocket.
And so he needs to, establish himself.
Yeah. And he's a pickpocketer. Danny offers him a plane ticket, and you do actually see when Danny picks up his hand and orders a drink, you can see Matt Damon pick up the ticket, and it's like, oh, that's the best lift yet. It's like, that was a simple lift, but I still accept it.
But yeah, no, the crew meets, and they're gonna
in Vegas,
and
I do appreciate that they used a little less conversation instead of Viva Las Vegas, because they did want an Elvis song, but they're like, we're tired of that song being for Vegas, so let's choose another one.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they got the group rate. They all came in. They're all sitting around. But yeah, this is where they're going to basically lay out what we need to do. It's like, number one, we need to get past the cages.
Yes.
Number two, we need a 6-digit code.
Yep.
Number three, there's elevators with fingerprints and voice, which we're not going to get.
Yeah.
And motion sensors.
Yeah.
And then we need to open the vault door.
And I love at one point,
Yin
wanted to dig underneath, and he's speaking Cantonese, and Rusty responds like he understands completely. I love Don Cheadle's face on that. It's like, wait, you speak Cantonese kind of thing.
But this is where they basically said, why are we doing this now? And that's the good news is they say, because it's a fight night, there's going to be $150 million in
easily,
the vault, or more.
Yeah.
And then, Saul goes like, well, are they just going to walk out? And it's like, yes. Which if you watch the rewatch, it's like, that's exactly what they do.
And then we go ahead, but let's talk some food. There's two foods during these montages of established scene.
Yep.
Brad Pitt eats some mixed veggies. Good thing for him. He needs his vegetables, and he has a lollipop.
That's
number 7.
Yep.
So,
but yeah, now we're going to go into the montage of this is what we need to do to get set up. We need to do some recon. Yeah. He's like, I want to know everything about everyone. You need to know the lay of the land. You need to do. Yeah. We need to know.
Yeah. That we get another great. The Mormon twins of don't call me friend, pal. Don't call me pal. All these fun moments. And,
we need to knock out the power. We need surveillance. And this is where Livingston has to go into the back and basically break in, which is your stereotypical early or late 90s. Like, you have to go and hook things to wires.
You actually have to tap the cameras. And the Bellagio actually gave the film crew access to the cameras so that they had genuine footage of the casino.
Yeah, so it looks like it's coming from
the casino.
We get like a close call, which it's like he's running away. It's like, if I was a security guy, like, why are you running from me? Why are you running from me? But they also are going to have to construct a vault, and you hear Russ say like, oh, for practicing. Dan's like something like that. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
You don't even know everything.
I appreciate getting the transportation. You got the twins outside bouncing on it like children, and you got Frank who says, oh, that's a little bit too much, but hey, let me shake your hand, and then does this whole thing about like lotioning, conditioning, and you realize that he is crushing this guy.
He is strong arming the deal.
Literally.
Then we finally get to meet the antagonist to this movie.
Yeah, we get that Linus has been tailing him, saying like, this man is clockwork. He knows everyone. He makes he handles things by himself. So he's a very but also very much like, no, we don't want to mess with him because he goes after
your family,
everyone.
Too,
But then we also get the introduction of Tess, which I believe you have a food thing.
Well, so the Mr. Benedict plays by Andy Garcia, and then we get the introduction of Julia Roberts as Tess.
Yes.
During this conversation, this is number 8 of the shrimp cocktail. Well, unfortunately, this needed to be done several times, so Brad Pitt ended up eating like 40 plus shrimp.
Yes.
So made him have a little tummy ache. But yeah, Julia Roberts only had a film for 2 weeks. She, she's not as in this movie as the other people, so she only had a little bit. Funnily enough, to convince her to join this film, George Clooney sent her a script with a $20 bill attached to it as a joke, saying, "I hear in the trades that you're worth $20 20 a picture," which was a joke at the time. She was like the highest paid actress
at $20
million a picture. And yes, everyone in this film took a huge pay cut so everyone could be in this film. So,
Well, and also to show the camaraderie is they would call and wake her up at like 5:30 in the morning, even if she wasn't on call that day, just to be like, well, we're up and we're having fun, so if you want to come over and hang out with us.
Yeah, it's like we're going to torture you and we're going to have fun.
And I mean, and to also put it into perspective, because I mean, you would know this, is because they're filming in Vegas, they all got put up in like the Bellagio and other places, but they all got put up in like really nice penthouses that are like 7,000 square feet. So like, they were doing okay for the, this wasn't like a trailer in the back. No.
It's like they weren't, this wasn't the hardest of like on set in the rain. It's like, no, you're in Vegas in the nice rooms, getting all the food and drinks that you can.
And I'd have to think from the casino's point of view, is like, listen, we're getting a lot of good advertising.
And that's the thing is like, you think, the Bellagio, you don't think they'd want them to know that they could rob us. Like, one, you can't rob them like this.
Don't worry about it.
And two, it is just a giant picture of saying, hey, these are the best casinos. These are the nicest rooms, the best food. We're going to rob them. So it's like a giant, long commercial for them.
Yeah, but, Linus Space says, I don't know who the girl is. Rusty knows who the girl is. And we have to have that talk of, is it about the girl?
Or is it about the money? And it's like, it's actually about both. Don't worry about it. One leads to the other.
But I do like, it's like, Tess does not divide 11 ways.
Yeah, I know. It's like, it's not that kind of movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, we get a little brief thing of Tess is in charge of the museum there.
At the Bellagio.
She's dating Terry Benedict.
Yeah.
It's a quick throwaway where like she goes to try to kiss him and he's like, well, in my casino, someone's always watching.
Yeah. It's like they don't have a very emotionally present relationship. Yeah.
But yeah, this is where you get the first of Danny seeing Tess for the first time, and it's the first, I think, misdirection of the movie where it's like
the hand on the shoulder. Yeah.
Well, the hand on the shoulder. Is he doing his own thing? Because the rest of the movie is like, is he going after the girl or is it going after the score?
Yeah.
I mean, going back to his ride, like, well, if we follow the plan, we can do both.
Yeah.
But you as the audience member are expected to forget that.
Yeah.
But no, she sees him and she's not happy to see him.
No, this is she recoils and
well, I mean, it's a great banter because it's a cold reception of saying, basically they banter and she's like, you left. I don't want you.
I got divorced and I sent you the papers like the day before I got out, so this is very recent for him.
Yeah.
And then I quite love when Terry shows up and he knows all about Danny.
Oh yeah.
But my favorite part is like, why don't you stay with us? And both Danny and Tess in unison say he can't. He
can't.
Because it's like
he knows what she's gonna say.
It shows that he's still more in sync with her than Terry is.
Well, and also a line that it took me a long time to get it, but I really like it is, do you know what your problem is?
I only have one. Yeah.
It's like, it's a fun line. But no, but it is, it's, I mean, especially with Terry and Danny knowing, like they don't have to come out and say it, but it is very much like two predators circling each other.
Yeah. Then he leaves and we get the indication that Matt Damon is tailing, George Clooney, that, he, and this is like one of my favorite shots is at the destruction of the casino, which I think was an actual destruction of a casino of you get to see everyone turn around except Danny and Linus, and you can just see them facing front of the crowd.
Well, and in the same, Basher's watching it on TV when it's literally out his window. That's kind of one of those things where it's like, just look out the window.
Just look out the window.
To roll back real quick, there's just one scene that establishes Saul playing Lyman Zergis.
Okay, yeah.
Basically saying, he's an ambiguous Eastern European arms dealer.
Yeah.
And he basically says, I have a package coming in and I need to have it secured.
In the vault.
And he's like, well, I'll put it in the cages. He goes, no. I need it more secure and I'll make it worth your while. And it is establishing, what
the plan is still going forward as more things are unrolling. Number 9, Brad Pitt is drinking an energy drink.
Okay.
Just want you to know that.
Okay. We then jump ahead to we're now doing dress rehearsals. We're going to have to see what Yin has to do, which is he needs to get out of this box and then jump without setting off motion sensors in a very, Mission Impossible style way. But I do like it that they're all like, I'll bet you $10 he shorts it, or
20,
but we also come up with the first problem arises.
Yes, because of that destruction, the crews know that their way to cut off the power is no longer viable.
Right.
And that they now need an EMP bomb, basically.
Yeah, so they have to go California to a university to steal it. Linus gets left back with the twins.
Yeah.
Basically gets, Rammy and goes inside.
Yeah, the 20 questions and getting it in 2 is another brother thing. It's like, damn it, you know me too well.
But basically, because Linus left, things get screwed up. He has to run, and Yin
gets his hand hurt.
Hair broken, something, I don't know. But and that's kind of like the first part where he says, when you don't follow the plan, people, get hurt.
But then number 10, unknown spoon of food.
Oh, an unknown spoon. I missed that one.
It's just a spoon. He just needed a spoon. It's like I couldn't.
Maybe it's like some peanut butter.
It's just he's a little hungry. So.
But we find out Danny's been red flagged.
Yeah.
Because obviously Terry's gonna be like, no, I don't want him in my.
Yeah.
But he's he's like, well, how did this happen? And this is where Linus basically is like, well, I've been following you, and blah blah blah. And so Linus takes Danny's spot, which one of those things like. When you see it towards the end and you realize what the reveal is like, well, that would always be the plan.
The case,
Danny could not have
done it anyway. He could not have been.
That's not the point. That's the point. This is the fun magic.
Yeah, this is like they're doing a sting on the new guy. They're hazing him in essence, but it's also for us because it's like, oh yeah, whatever you do,
Linus gets a lesson in body language from
Rusty.
From Rusty. And it is one of those things like I appreciate where it's like, the most important thing is, hold on a second.
Whatever you do, don't. Oh, yeah, go take this call. Yeah. It's a classic joke. It's done well here as well. And it's heist time.
Yeah, this is where the magic trick starts. If you've ever watched a movie like The Prestige, this is almost done exactly where it's like there's a setup. You
see all the pieces moving. You know where all they are.
Yeah, and it will come back to a reveal, and you're like, what? Wait,
that was over there. But
imagine this as a magic trick. But we do get it set up with Saul's briefcase getting dropped off.
Yep, and Saul is almost made by a random dude.
Yeah, that was like the first hiccup.
Yeah,
which I do like that it does pay off. Like where later on he's like, well, why can't I watch my briefcase go down to the vault? He goes, basically, Terry says, I just don't trust you.
Yeah, insurance for one, security for another, and for the most part, I don't trust you. And I do love that little smile. It's like, this is
between two
powerful men. This is how it should be.
But but. You see the EMP getting loaded up. The twins are coming in, and they're the waiter outfits, which I love. Is like, they're always waiters. If you need to sneak in, just be a waiter. No one pays attention.
There's a random pull focus shot on a car air freshener that you're like, why is that important? And it's like you just need to know that later, and that's all you get. Terry teasing Linus about the night vision goggles and all that.
Well, he's like, Linus is in place. He's got his earpiece. Livingston is basically like, doing great, but don't screw up. And then the camera stare.
Yeah.
And then
sorry, not night vision goggles. I put NVG. Night vision goggles like Nevada Vegas Gaming Commission. Sorry, my bad. It's like there's no night vision goggles yet.
And then you see Danny is following Tess.
Yeah.
This is one of the things like he has already been pegged. They know he's in there, and so part of you wants to believe like he's gone rogue.
Yeah,
he's doing his own thing.
He's more for Tess, and he's going to ruin the heist.
At the same time, Yin is getting the box, and they're like, "Okay, time to start your timers. We got 30 minutes now.
From now." And then Linus intercepts Terry and about Frank, and this interrogation inside of that they're revealing who he really is. A lot of Bernie Mac's rant is improvised. It's like, you want me to dance on the table? You want to shine shoes?
Yes. Which and this is exactly what is supposed to be. Is they're supposed to antagonize each other to get into a fight so that Linus can then pull.
And you can see him do it, and it's very done. It's very smooth. It's like, oh, he's trying to hide. No, he's got the codes.
And so, but at the very same time. Is Danny, while following Tess, just basically drops a phone in her pocket, which we'll come back later to. But this is him saying goodbye. He's then escorted off the floor to
the cameraless room,
which we'll come to in a bit. The twins take Yin to the vault, where they do their twin thing of, you forgot the key. You forgot the key.
And then that just gets past that first layer of security. The box gets taken down to the vault.
And so. The journey of the vault is nice because you do see the box and the briefcase get there at the same time, get put down, but a little hiccup of someone putting
the briefcase on top of the box.
And that's kind of fun where it's like, every plan is going to have something that you did not.
You didn't even think about it. It's like, yeah, we need this in here, but we never thought where they might put it.
Exactly. It's like, oh crap.
Yeah.
But that comes off later. Bashir parks the EMP. This is all going on in the background, setting it up.
Yeah.
But then you get Danny with the thugs.
Yeah.
Basically saying like, oh, there's no cameras in here. And then a big guy comes in. His name's Bruiser, which I think is funny. Hits him and he goes, not yet, Bruiser. Yeah.
Now, if you rewatch this, the other two are supposedly listening in the room and can hear everything. So this should have been quieter, but I don't care.
The suspenders are still on. It's okay. But yeah, basically helps him go up into
the ventilation.
I like the timing. It's one of those like, oh, this is so well thought out. I was like, Saul's been sweating this whole time.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm okay. The second that Linus appears on screen, they're like, whoa, who is this guy? He falls.
Fakes a heart attack, yeah.
Fakes a heart attack.
Yeah.
And Matt Damon's able to get into the elevator.
And they're also able to pull focus away from the monitor so they can put in their fake cameras.
Rusty that gets put on screen as a doctor.
In his Austin Powers hair wig.
Yes, that is a backup Austin Powers wig. But this is a smart way to get Saul and Rusty out of these things.
Well, because it's like if is that thing of you need to have him expect you to be dead, because it's like if Lyman Zerga was a real person, he would be outraged that his stuff was stolen. But if he's dead, there's going to be no follow up on anyone.
Or because jumping heads, everything blows up down there. Yeah. You don't know what blew up.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, it is fun to watch upon rewatching how they get them into it and how they get them out of it. And that's half the fun.
Yeah.
Linus and Danny, meet up in the elevator.
Yeah.
They get their tools all together.
This is where all the graphics of the movie are, because they are only 2 feet off the ground. There is no elevator shaft whatsoever.
But yeah, no, they get set up. They set off the EMP, which I always enjoy watching Don Cheadle I have to cover up my giblets because I don't know.
And that was improv as well. That is that's just a funny little moment. Yeah.
But the lights go out. They drop down the elevator.
Mm-hmm. While the lights go out, this is something I want to talk about because I mentioned the boxing match, because not only the boxing match is a important thing for the money, but this is an actual boxing match. This was a championship boxing match between two actual boxers that was going to happen very shortly after filming. And so they said, okay, we'll have you guys come out, do your shtick. You're not allowed to actually throw punches at each other, and when the lights go out, go to your opposite corners, and we're gonna rush the thing and make it look like it's a big mess.
Yeah,
they do that. No one broke thing. The guy who lost the championship, because I think he was a champion, said that thing jinxed him and got in his head. And it's like, he kind of blames, I wish I hadn't done the movie for you guys. But, those were this was an actual championship MGM match that was going to happen.
Yeah, so there's your history lesson.
Yeah. But I should have looked up the boxers. I'm sorry, but if you watch the movie, you know who they are. So,
but basically, the lights come back on, and there is chaos
everywhere.
Which feels realistic. Well, if the lights go off in Vegas, someone's going to try to palm a few.
Exactly.
But yeah. Yin comes out of the box, catches the case, which gives you that kind of suspense.
Mm-hmm.
Barely makes the jump because they're making the joke he's going to short it. Well, he actually goes longer.
He goes far,
done.
Yeah.
Places the explosives and gets stuck. And this is a wonderful moment because
tension,
because in all these movies, everything's been going like clockwork, and they push the button and it's out of batteries. And Linus gets to kind of throw it back at Danny, saying, "Well, if you don't."
Yeah, do you not have extra batteries on you? Because I do. It's like, if you mess up for one, I got it. And then they blow it up, and it's hilarious. Tess finds Rusty. I love that.
Yeah, Rusty calls on the phone that was put in there and says okay, we're robbing you, and we've got some demands.
Yeah.
But Tess finds him on the floor while he's giving these list of demands of how they want things to go.
And you think, oh, they've been got again, but it's like, no, we need you to go watch TV.
Yeah, Danny requests you go to your room. And I think at this point, she's smart enough to know something's going on.
Yeah.
So she's going to see it out.
Yeah.
But this is basically another part of the magic trick saying no, you need to bring the money. We're going to hold half the money hostage. You're going to put it in the
other half in this van and leave us alone. Yeah. And once we're safe, you get your half of the money.
Simultaneously, they're like, we need to call the SWAT team.
Yeah. Here is probably the biggest problem with this movie. Okay. This heist. Never caught it until it was pointed out to me.
Okay.
Where did those bags of flyers, as we eventually come from? We don't know. They never explained how those bags got down into the vault to go back up into the elevator. There's no way they could have carried them. It wasn't with Danny. It wasn't with Linus, and it wasn't with Yin. Those bags magically appeared in that elevator. This is the only mistake in writing. And they said, and then they acknowledged it in the commentary. It's like, yeah, this is a bit of tomfoolery, but we figured you just enjoyed the movie. So
it's the T-Rex pit.
It's the T-Rex pit of Jurassic Park of you don't care because you're enjoying the movie. So this is a major this is not realistic whatsoever. These bags appear out of nowhere.
Okay.
But that's I just wanted to point out.
No, you said that. I was like, oh, yeah.
Because you think, oh, no, they brought down with the SWAT team gear. No, because the SWAT team was already after the bags leave. So this is magic bags.
Okay, magic bags.
Magic bags full of naked flyer women.
Yes. But,
yeah.
This is what,
the SWAT team shows up.
The SWAT team shows up. They say, okay, we'll swarm it.
Yeah.
There's an explosion downstairs. And they're like, oh my gosh, we can't find them. They say, okay, take the van.
Yeah.
The van explodes. And they're like, well, there's no money in here.
And there's no driver. It's a robo van.
It's a robo bag.
Yeah.
And so they're like, what happened?
Yeah.
And that's where you get him saying, like, we'll look at the floor.
Yeah.
We had just another thing that they had not anticipated
is that they changed the vault
floor
inside the vault floor.
Yeah. So he knows that there's a fact, but he can't figure out
who did it,
where the money is, and that's where you get the big reveal of that they were the SWAT team. They intercepted the call. They literally walked out with the money.
With all the money, and the SWAT van has the hanging air freshener that they pulled focus on. That it's like, why is that important? Because they're the SWAT team.
Because they're the SWAT team, and
and number 11 as the SWAT commander, he's chewing gum.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit of real world wait a secondness.
Yeah.
Is they said based on how much money they took.
Yeah.
Is that they said, roughly. Each person would have had to carry over 300 pounds of money.
Yeah.
No way, no how.
And not British pounds, American pounds.
Ooh, look at that. But
money joke.
We're going to allow it because we're having fun.
Yeah.
Terry goes to confront Danny because, like, if something just happened, who are you going to go see? But he's in there.
He's been beaten up. It's like he's been contained. And it's like, okay, now Tess is watching them.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can get you your money back, but you have to give up Tess.
Would you do it?
It's like, yes. Okay. He's succeeded in his heist.
Yeah.
And now to get the suspicion off him is like, I know a guy. Anything that happens on the West Coast.
I'm going to figure it out for you. I'm going to track it down. And it's like, he's like, I don't need. Here, send him to jail. This guy's worthless to me.
Yeah.
Tess just walks out.
Yeah. And it's like, as you know, someone's always watching. So it's like, okay, now this is a couple things that still works, but it's questionable where they say you should not leave any evidence that you did this.
Yeah.
So there's a couple things here. Tess saying that now leaves evidence that, okay, why
Danny's somehow
involved. There's a couple uniforms left in an elevator. There's an entire giant, like, penthouse-esque room full of equipment that they never cleaned up. It's like these are little.
But the thing is, like, you don't ever know if that penthouse.
Yeah.
Like, I know the camera crew.
Yeah.
Is back at Ruben's house.
That's true.
So it's like you don't ever actually know if they're actually in his hotel.
Yeah.
So I mean the clothes, yes.
Yeah.
But it could be mitigated.
There's always like these little things. I was like you.
But yeah, you do want to find the hole. Cause I mean, that's how good the story is. That you want to find the holes.
Yeah.
But most of it stands up to scrutiny.
Yeah. And then we get a beautiful end to this of the Clair de Lune music of everyone. The heist is over, the calm, and they go to the Bellagio fountains.
Yes.
Now in the script, it said that Rusty would leave first, and Saul would leave last.
Yes.
Everyone else got to leave when they felt it. The actors were just said, leave when you feel comfortable.
Well, and this is the actual last scene they filmed.
Yeah.
And Matt Damon was saying, he's like, this is actually a really emotional scene for us. Because like, it's kind of like you've made all these great friends. It's the last day of camp and you're all leaving. Mm-hmm. And it's like, no, it's.
And in the commentary again, the director was saying, I am so happy that it was Matt Damon and Saul at the end. Just the two of them. It was like the youngest, newest guy with the old guy on his last heist kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And that they just kind of look at each other and then they walk off. It's like, I should have written that, but they just instinctively did themselves.
And then you get the very end of Danny getting out. You get
a nice 3. It's like I could be out in 3 to 6 months, and this like 3 to 6 months later. They're not going to tell you how long it was. And number 12, the burger, and he's been eating so much he has heartburn. Did you know that, Noah?
That's a reveal to me.
Okay, but that's the joke.
But yeah, they have a fun little banter. Of like, I hope you were the bride. Ted Nugent wants his suit back, but yeah, there's banter. Tess is in the back.
And then we get a quick math breakdown of based on how much they took of then they said, oh, $13 million and this is all you can pick me up in. And it's like, well, that divided among everyone meant that they spent $20 million to make this happen. So that's to build the vault, to pay off people, to get all this. But it's like, so $20 million of Saul's overhead, and then he gets paid back, and then he gets another $13 million, or all those bribes and things. But and then it is an indication that Terry's still keeping an eye on them.
Well, and I think it's because there are sequels, which but it's like it would be to end. It's like, no, we're gonna keep low, and not like you said, it's like I'm gonna be disappointed if I find out that you guys bought a mansion and a car, and I'm gonna figure it out.
Find it out, because that is how someone who did steal money got picked up for buying $100,000 car down in Newport Beach or something like that. But I do love the callback to the liar thief in the back. It's very cute. And it's like, oh, you can believe that they would get back together.
Yeah, and, she didn't throw the ring away, which was something. But
but this is fun all around, and that's what Steven Soderbergh was hoping for. Of just like, you're going to watch this and you're going to let your mind just accept it.
Yeah, it's a fun story. Yeah. It's done so well. I think it's still one of the best, if not the best, heist films. Yeah, and also it's like it's in my I'd say. If I had a top 10, this definitely is in the top 10 of movies. Like, I could watch this anytime.
I put it in my top 11. I know, I'm sorry.
I'm going to glare at you. You can't see it, but I'm glaring at him right now.
Yeah, but, it is a good one. And there, you know what? I can't think of a good transition to our next movie, which is a sci-fi horror film called Pandora. I was like, it's got a lot of bodies and stuff.
Well, this is one that I haven't seen, so I don't
know. Yeah, Pandora. It's a romantic comedy in space, as one of our friends had said once, to trick their romantic partner to watch.
It's not.
It's not. It's a horror film.
It's a horror film.
It's the closest thing movie form has to the video game Dead Space. That's how But
if you're going in thinking that it's scary,
it's it's a cheesy sci-fi.
It's a cheesy sci-fi
horror. But hopefully you can catch that. I would highly suggest Ocean's 11.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can tell how much we love this, because this is a very long podcast for us. So thanks for stopping by, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
All right.
Bye.